So if I take a wheel and I roll another wheel around the side of it and I count how many times this other smaller wheel rolls around the circumference of the bigger wheel, that's called an arithmetic, not math. That is not math. It's an arithmetic. Maths don't prove things. Everything that a math allegedly proves is already just periodically evident where it's observed. And so you can theorize with math how things work. You don't prove them. They're either proved already or they're not proven through math. But you can theorize how they work. And that theory of how they work never under any circumstance expands into a broader depiction than specifically the exact math that you're theorizing. The exact and explicit string of numbers that you put into your equation is explicitly the only thing being theorized. Nothing greater or broader or more elaborate is being theorized through math. And so even the theory is pretty much basically useless since you're already working with evident fact. Yeah, I've always been very, very opposed to math. I always asked the teacher, hey, what's that good for? And they never had any answer. So what's impressive about math is a hypotenuse. Is very, very convenient for automating artificial realities. And when you're automating things by being able to use ratios mathematically, it's a convenience. Now, you don't prove automation. Automation is just automation. You're not proving anything through math. But the math is very convenient for automation. And otherwise, math is just fucking useless. All you need is arithmetic. Arithmetic is very sufficient, and it's all based on perception and competent conceptions. Because people can easily, confidently conceive of things. I can conceive of the fact that energy going into something can cause something to go sideways instead of up, or go down instead of up. That's a conception, not a perception, because you don't see the energy. So, based on your basic perceptions of where things are going and your ability and capacity to conceive things, you don't need math for anything, ever. So, you put a measurement on a beaker and you fill it with a fluid so that you know where to stop at a consistent rate while you're doing your trials, and you raise that line and you lower that line to represent and mark which experiment you're working with. That's kind of arithmetic. It's hardly even an arithmetic because you're not even taking a measurement. You're just watching where to stop. So now we're going to figure out the efficiency at which rate this substance in this leaker is going to burn when we have an air hole which grows and shrinks according to our experiment, not according to math, because we don't know. We haven't mathematically proven. We haven't proven the efficiency of the air contribution at any volume, or at any condensation, or the size of our bore, or the length of our piston, for how much power we're going to produce. It's 100% experiment. They don't mathematically figure these things out. They tamper with them consistently, constantly changing things and reading out how much they're pumping out in their power division, or their length, or their work, or how much fuel efficiency they're getting. And none of it's math. It's not even arithmetic. There is no arithmetic involved in any of that. They're just experimenting and reading whether or not something is superior or inferior to the previous model. Any and all math applied afterwards as an afterthought to your experiment already being conducted and produced is a redundancy. And so if we're observing a chain fountain, there is no math involved in needing to prove why it goes up. We already know how a whip works. It's as simple as that. Formula or algorithm nor arithmetic necessary to indicate that the pressure of one end of the chain is throwing the other chain up in the air because it's able to turn right fast enough. The world is just really run by a bunch of brain-dead assholes that, being as corrupt and fucked up and perverse in their thinking as they are, they strive to take pride, which is a word that takes no positive meaning in any way, in anything that they possibly can, which is as stupid as they are. That's all math is. It's fucking shit. Arithmetics are all that we need in order to conduct efficient experiments and reach all the optimizations that humans require to accomplish absolutely anything except for automation. And automation is pretty damn simple because all you need is a little bit of a ratio and no other pattern is relevant to anything. They don't mathematically predict and determine the fluctuation of radiation. They test it, not with arithmetic, just with a basic experiment, and they record the results and their findings of how much their dial needs to be amped up with how much power they're producing. It's not about the volumes that they're producing and the volumes that they go. It's about their gauging and their calibration in your dials. So they experiment with everything to get it down. It doesn't matter that they have numbers to represent all their static configurations. They're just changing the dial.